So before we get to Fury, or Usyk Fury 2, we gotta get to my man Marvelous, Marcus Taylor. Let's try to tell his story, man. Let's try to be brief with it and just kind of get to fight night and get through fight night. But the way we like to tell the story, I think we tell it very similar. We ran across one another at a the Boxing Voice event. Mm-hmm. That was earlier this year, right? Was that March?
Was it? Probably was last year.
Was it last year? So
last year.
We ran across each other, and I had
saw you. End of last year.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw your fight against Yo Elvis Gomez, Dominican, who is back on the rise.
Cuban.
He is a Cuban.
Yeah.
Sorry, my fault. Cuban, who is back on the rise after suffering a loss to you, and like I always say, these Cubans have such a reputation that whenever they're in the ring, it's like the talk is always so high and so praiseworthy, and it's like I heard that, did not know who you were whatsoever, but man, just the way you walked to the ring that night, I was like, this dude about to do something. So I tuned in because of you. I tuned in because of Gomez. But I tuned into you. You dropped him in the first or the second round. Dropped him in the second, and you just had control the whole fight. I think there was maybe one moment where he caught you with a good shot, and it was like, could this be it? And it was like, that moment went by. You handled yourself very well. I saw you at the Boxing Voice, told you, hey, hit me up if you ever need anything. Don't want nothing from you. Just want to help you. Same thing I tell all of the guys. And you hit me up, I think it was like June. And
so it was a while.
Yeah, I was like, well, what? And he hit me up.
Think it over.
Yeah, he hit me up asking me to train him. And I kind of was like, of course, the first thing I think of is Kenny Porter. I'm like, why don't call my dad?
Yeah.
Like, it's my dad's face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I, of course, thought of that. But I was like, I like you. Saw you on TV, met you. I like you. So let me, had a conversation. Conversation leads to us training, I think the first time in August, which led to me just kind of messaging you certain things to do, keep yourself ready. Don't train too goddamn hard, which is something that you do. And which obviously as a coach, that's like a perfect world, And then we officially got a word that we were going to be fighting in December just a couple of days ago. And you came back out here in November for camp. We put about 3.5 weeks in together at camp.
Not more than that, like 4.
Was it 4 weeks total?
Yeah, so I actually came out here.
It was
October 31st. I remember the day.
Oh, okay.
Came out here October 31st. Spent all of November.
It could have been October 31st because I came out to Vegas or I came out to Houston for the Red Out card, the first weekend of November, and then you came back with me after that. Sorry to correct you in front of everybody, but
why you do that in front of America? But I think it was like
Japan.
It
We've
was
got Japanese fans as well.
Yeah, and my Japanese
English too.
fans.
British too.
And British. Yeah. But it was you're right. So
he actually did it in front of the whole world.
Yeah. It's cool.
Anyway,
it's all right.
No, it's cool.
But it was actually you're right. The first week of November. But it was still over 4 weeks because I stayed all the way until the week before the fight.
Yes. But that that last week I wasn't around as much as I could have been.
Stop correcting me, Coach.
Yeah.
That's his job though now, right? Yeah.
It was 4 weeks, Coach. It was a whole month. I was down here.
But we put in the work. We got training we got sparring at the top rank. Spar with a couple of other young guys, young whippersnappers out here. Let's get to fight night, man. Tell me how you felt.
I felt good. Went through a lot of adversity I never had to go through before with being taken through a rehydration clause, having to weigh in 4 pounds under my weight that I have the belt in. Just different things like that, but still with the will to win and put on the show for my hometown crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the first knockdown of your career?
First knockdown of my career.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. I ain't gonna lie. I loved saying, I've never been dropped ever in my career. 20 fights, you know what I'm saying? But hey, it happened. I knew exactly what I did wrong, like, while it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I got up, fixed it, and went right back to work.
Yeah, you won every moment of every round besides that round, right? With the
Yeah.
You said that you know what you did wrong. What happened there then, you think?
I threw some shots, popped straight back up. When I popped up, we had some distance between each other. Ivan is a rangy fighter, 6'3", 75, 76 inch reach. And when I popped up, we had some distance. He was throwing a combination, and I got caught on the end of a shot. I wasn't necessarily balanced when I got caught, so, kind of just put me on my butt. So I knew exactly what I did when it happened. I was, couldn't believe it. I usually pride myself on things like that, not popping straight back up.
Mm-hmm.
Not me creating the space, but making the other guy creating the space, and them creating the space thinking they're out of range, and I'm capitalizing on that. So I was on the end of that. So, it was really disappointing and frustrating, but, when you're in a fight, it's no time to be disappointed and frustrated. When things happen, you got to put it in the rear view and make it right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Which you did. I care to hear my assessment on it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so...
Yeah.
It's why we're here.
So it's like, well, I don't want to catch one from the O Snatcher.
Give me the ugly truth.
Because I got an O since I never fought professionally, so I don't know if you'd want to just snatch it on principle. So one thing I like about Marcus is very tall guy. When you look at his frame, you think this is gonna be a mover, this is gonna be a back foot guy. Mm-hmm. But you got that Texas dog in you. You like to fight.
Yeah.
And you're like we were talking about with Rocha. Yeah. Tall guy, could use the height, but his temperament is to fight. And you got skills in what you do, but you like to get in guys' chests despite being a tall guy.
Yeah.
And so Sean's asking late in the fight, what do you think of I haven't seen this happen a lot in the corner, but Sean's asking in the corner, what do you think of this? What do you think of getting on the jab, getting on the feints, and what sounded like to me, doing the long range stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And you wisely, because you only had about 3-4 weeks. I don't know who wound up being right about that, but 3 or 4 weeks. So it's like
he was right.
Let me do what I'm winning the fight. I'm winning every round. Let me take this home. Mm-hmm. And we could do that when we get back home to the gym and tune things up, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I think you said after the fight about that distance when you got hit. And you went more into depth with it now, but you talked about I had distance with him and you wanted to take that away from him and cut it off. Mm-hmm. I think you'd be that much tougher to beat if you do fight tall a little more often and on the outside, because it felt like, well, if you get that part of your skill set down with Sean and in the gym with whoever and sparring and are able to feel more comfortable at long range, then you won't necessarily need to get in his chest, which you're very comfortable doing. You could have beat him 2 different ways. You could have beat him on the outside. I wouldn't know how to teach it. That's for you guys to do. But you could take basically you don't have to get in his chest to take away the right hand. You could take it away at distance too, which I think with your jab, with your movement, you're more than capable of. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to see you and Sean work on that to make you that much more well-rounded going forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the plan. The plan is, I wouldn't get on
not to take away from what you do best.
Absolutely.
Just add to it.
I mean, I told him that day one is I'm never going to stop you from being you. My job is to learn you and to help you become a better version of you. For me, I haven't watched you and I, excuse me, you and I, we're going to watch it tomorrow together. Right, cool. Film study is never something I did for myself. Mm-hmm. Hated it. But I also have a photographic memory so I could remember it all. Mm-hmm. And I always like to tell people, if you don't believe that I have a photographic memory, that I look different every single fight, that I look better every single fight, it's because I would always play the good, the bad, the ugly in my mind. And I could always just mentally fix it and things of that nature. But I felt like it was a B- to a C+ performance. I felt like I knew the things that we were able to do in just a matter of 4 weeks in camp, and I knew what I felt showed up and what I felt didn't. And the bottom line for me was I didn't expect a lot to show up anyway. You get going, instinct kicks in, and when instinct kicks in, you revert back to this is what I know and this is what I do. Me as a coach, man, I had a good time. I had a good time. I didn't even know how to sit in the corner. You know what I mean? And the commission kept telling me you got to sit down. I'm like, I'm trying to be up here like Andy Reid, okay? I'm just trying to watch this thing and see what adjustments I need to make so he come back to the corner, I can give him these adjustments. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really trying to be the Andy Reid of this thing, you know what I mean? And she kept telling me to sit down. I'm sitting down. I'm sitting down like this, watching the fight like this. And I'm like, I don't know if that's correct, you know what I mean? So I'm moving around, man, and I just tried to keep my eyes on you best as I could. And I think that me as a coach, I thought that I gave you relatively good information in between rounds. I felt like I was able to assess your body, assess your mentality during the fight. And for me, man, I just look forward to doing more of it. You went to the WBA or in Orlando just this past weekend, Saturday, just yesterday. You got the day before yesterday. You got a chance to speak, right? Did you get a chance to speak Sunday or Saturday?
Yesterday.
Today is Monday. Yeah.
So yesterday I got the chance to speak, which Sunday, I didn't think I was going to even do. So that exceeded expectations of the whole trip. Yeah. And made it well worth it. Because at first, I ain't going to lie, I didn't want to go at first. I just won my fight Friday night to jump on a plane Saturday at 6 a.m.
And politic.
You know, and politic and things like that. Right after my fight, I wasn't too excited about doing it, but going there and doing that, man, it was well worth it. To be able to rub the shoulders that I rub and get up there and talk my case, put my bid in to be in the rankings, which, I mean, I gave them undeniable evidence to why I should be in the rankings. Like one of the points that I pointed out that you should have seen their reaction. They were like, because I was like, man, I fought Yovis Gomez. Yovis Gomez was as far as number 5 on the WBA. Did you know that?
Right.
He was as high as number 5.
At like 6-0. Yeah.
I beat him, and I'm not even ranked 18.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So that's kind of like, it's kind of like cheating a little, like, you know, I was cheated, you know, so I brought that to their attention. Yeah. I'm the guy that knocked him out of the WBA rankings altogether. And I'm not saying I should have been ranked number 1, 2, 3 after that, but I should have at least been put into the conversation. Absolutely. You know, which is fair. And they saw that and they were like, their expression was like, man, you're kind of right. You know, so I'm looking to definitely be ranked a good number in the WBA.
I know we're gonna do this again. So we don't need to do it what does that say? That's not real. That's not the right time. I was trying to look and see how long we've been on. But do me a favor, man. How many undefeated fighters you've been in the ring with?
7 or 6?
You're 18-1. You've been in the ring with 7 fighters, and you're 18-1. I haven't looked across the board at the champions in the world of boxing, but I can't imagine most of them have been in the ring with 7+ undefeated fighters.
Yeah. And like you said, at the WBC convention, maybe it's because I never had anyone go and lobby for me at these conventions. I've never been promoted by a big promoter. And I was watching the Alexis Rocha fight this past weekend, and Curiel, I seen in his locker room, he had a couple of NABF belts, just like me. I looked at my manager, Bobby. I was like, Bobby, I put money on it right now. Put money on it. I bet you he's in the top 10 of WBC with that NABF belt. Matter of fact, forget him. I bet you everybody that has an NABF belt and their promoter name is Bob, Eddie, Hal, they're in the top 10s with the same belt I got, except middleweight. Yeah. Except mine. Yeah. He checked it and it was true. Dang. I'm the only one with the NABF belt. Yeah. You Shushu Carrington got the NABF belt. Yeah. Ranked number 1 in a couple. Like, telling you, man, I'm the lone sheep I'm the outsider that has a prestigious belt in NABF. There's the only one that was ranked in the 20s with it.
Zittel, you'll appreciate this. Audience, you better damn well appreciate this. Tell everybody, for a little while, you was unable to get fights.
Yeah. When I first found out this business of boxing, it's the reason I fight the way I fight. Like you were telling me in the corner, hey, you want to try to get him to try to come to you and see. And what I tell you, Coach, I don't want to waste no rounds because,
he did.
Dude, I'm still not. This A-side thing is new to me.
Yeah.
I'm a B-side fighter. I bring the business of boxing into the ring with me.
Yeah.
I don't have leeway. I don't have cushion to give away no second of no round. I don't want to get robbed. I know this business well. That's why I don't lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when I'm winning, I'm still pressing on the gas like I'm losing. It's hard to cheat me.
Yeah.
How do you cheat somebody that's winning and still fighting like they're losing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't only have 3 knockouts.
Yeah.
So I don't go in and knock the guys out.
Yeah.
Most people be saying, oh, you got to knock this guy out to win this fight. I know how to pound it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that mindset that you even saw in the fight. Like, I'm on A side in my hometown.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, man, I don't want to waste. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give these judges any reason. I'm beating them. Coach, I keep smashing them like I'm losing.
Yeah.
I already got dropped.
Yeah.
So now
I know you want the jab in the face, but I got to keep whipping his ass.
Look,
That's
I
how
got to keep beating. Like,
yeah.
At this point, man, it's a fight. Now I'm going to beat this guy up because he knocked me down. And guess what? I'm thinking, in my head, they gave him 3 rounds because of that.
Uh-huh.
It's the way, it's just.
Uh-huh. I get it.
That's how Kenny Sims has been having to fight for the same kind of reason. His experience in the business.
So tell everybody how you started managing yourself and getting fights.
Man, I started going on BoxRec and.
About how many fights did you have at this point?
I had about 10 fights. It was right after I fought Kermit Cintron.
Okay.
After I fought Kermit Cintron, I started going on BoxRec and looking up undefeated fighters, guys that was on cards that had dates but didn't have an opponents. Finding matchmakers' numbers, emails, finding their managers' numbers, emails, calling, and just putting my bid in like, hey, I'm Marquis Taylor from Houston, Texas. I'm 8-1 with 1 no contest. I just fought Kermit Cintron. I'm available this day to fight your fighter if you're still looking for somebody for him to fight. And that's actually how I met Twan, my guy Twan. He gave me an opportunity to fight his fighter at the time, Jimmy Williams. I gave Jimmy his first loss. That led me into fighting at Samstown against Sanjar, which I won my first NABF belt on the B side.
I might have been there.
So
I might have seen that fight.
It's been a journey, and at this time I didn't know the business at all. All I knew was I gotta try to get fights.
I was gonna say the business certainly isn't a fighter calling promoters.
Yeah.
A fighter calling
First time I've heard of it.
I didn't start learning the business until, as I said, I beat. After the last 2 undefeated guys I beat, my phone stopped ringing and they stopped answering my phone calls. And it was like I was at a crossroad. I was like, I'm not good enough to be promoted by guys, but I'm too good to come in on the B side. Where do I go from here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you don't want me to fight your guys, will promote me.
Yeah.
You're not marketable.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I was stuck until I met Bobby Harrison.
Yeah. And the kid is marketable. You are marketable.
Appreciate that.
It's gonna come in time.
I believe so too. I feel like all my fights are entertaining. All my fights, even this last one was, man, I had the crowd rocking, man. I sold out venue in my hometown.
Yeah.
I was the first boxer to actually sell out the Red Owl venue.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool to say.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
They had a lot of great fighters come through that venue, and I had people parking miles away.
Yeah.
So that was just a great feeling.
After the fight, they ask you what you want next. And I was like, he better say it. He better say it. And go ahead and tell everybody.
Man, I want Ammo Williams next, man. I want Austin Ammo Williams next, man. I think that's just a great move, a great fight for people, a great fight for me and him to prove ourselves, to prove who still belongs in that room.
Texas.
Texas
versus Texas.
Texas versus Texas. I mean, who else?
He's I don't have my notes. My notes are in the car. And I hate that I don't have my notes because I got it ready for you when I was out there in the WBC. I do know that he's ranked 7 right now.
Yeah.
And I felt like you would be well served to go 8 right behind him.
Yeah.
knowing that he just lost to Shiraz.
Yep.
And so now he's 17-1, I believe.
Yep.
And I just felt like 17-1.
18-1.
Now 18-1.
What's
right
up?
there. And then whoever starts to move forward, you know?
Let's go.
We're gonna have the my presentation to the WBC at the end of the episode so you guys can listen and see how the whole process went and how that process goes. Basically, what happens at the conventions, they have a day where they do ratings. They do a ratings meeting, and anyone can come up and represent a fighter and get them ranked in top 10, top 15, top 20, wherever it is. You were 24, and I petitioned for you to be ranked in the top 10. Listen, all respect to anybody ranked with the WBC after 10. Marcus should be ahead of you. All respect. I don't have the notes, and I'm sorry, but the numbers don't lie, okay? Once the numbers don't lie, the activity doesn't lie either. You know what I mean? So you're just better than everybody that is underneath or underneath that top 10. Mm-hmm. I think that's how you say it. Yep. So I petitioned for you to be in the top 10. They were like, "Well, we'll take them to 19 right now, and after the fight, we'll take a look at them, and we'll move them up beyond that." And then I was like, "Man, maybe I got a little too greedy. All right, let me shoot it at you this way. Yeah. I didn't. I let it be what it was. Yeah. But we're gonna make our moves, and I think that it really should start with Ammo Williams. Ammo's gonna be looking for an opponent. Ammo's going to need a top 10 caliber kind of guy. Ammo's needs a guy that's going to make him look good. Ammo needs a good fight on TV. Marcus
and, I'm hearing
Taylor's
through
the
the
best fight for
grapevine
him.
that they're headlining him March 15th at the Casino Royale, the Caribbean Royale, which I was just at for the WBA convention. Yeah. I did talk to Mr. Rooney. I have put my bid in with
Kevin Rooney.
Kevin Rooney.
Yeah.
I told him, I know he's gonna headline. Call me.
When is that?
March 15th.
Ooh.
That's the day that I'm fit to go again after my Texas suspension due to my cut. Yeah. I'm like, if that ain't a sign from God, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
This is perfect. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. And we just gotta get you in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, if it don't happen, you know why? It's because they don't want it.
Last one from me. I don't know if you got anything from him, but I do want to get heavy on Usyk versus Fury 2. I got a great surprise for y'all. We're gonna be shooting this episode tomorrow, where I'm gonna be taking you guys through the Usyk Fury #1 fight, the possibilities, the things that happen, the things that could happen, the things that won't happen in this rematch. Definitely, as soon as I'm done with that, we'll get it edited up and put out. But we're gonna go through this real quick. But before we do, tell everybody about O Snatcher.
Man, O Snatcher, I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm now 18 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. Man, I've been on this winning streak now for going on 11 years. Blessed to have new coach in Shawn Porter, teaching me different things, making me better, polishing me up. And 2025, we looking for a world title shot.
Now, tell everybody about O Snatcher. Tell everybody how you got.
I got the name O Snatcher from Showtime Boxing. The last fight on Showtime on Jerron Boots in his undercard when I beat Yovis Gomez. He was my 6th undefeated fighter, my 6-0 snatching. So after I beat him, they called me the O Snatcher. They was like, hey, Marquis Taylor, the O Snatcher, after taking my 6-0. So I acquired that name by stepping in on the B side and beating undefeated fighters.
And the other side of all that is my man don't even want a fighter that's got 1 loss now.
Nah,
except Austin Williams.
We were because I had to talk him into that, right? Because Shiraz beat him, so I'm like, well,
he wants to fight Shiraz.
I'm like, you're not gonna get Shiraz because Shiraz got Adames. Yeah. And I was like, and then somebody's gonna lose there. I was like, let's just
beat him.
We still got to grow. We still got to get better, and I think that's the maturation process. Yep. But we had a change of opponent for this past fight. Past fight we had 13-0 Russian Olympian. Yep. He had to pull out for an injury, and this dude did not want anybody with a loss. I'm like, we got to get what we get, Yep. So thank you, sir. O Snatcher is on the way.